Great Nigerians and wonderful viewers, welcome to your darling station, The Living TV. We're back again today on your favorite program, Issues of the Moment. In today's Issues of the Moment, we are going to look at the subsidy removal. Abia government having accepted a receipt of the palliative sent by the federal government. Away from that, we'll also be looking at the recovery of government property as alleged by Alex Otis government. You also remember that before now, the immediate past governor, Dr. Keze Ibazo, had a court order not to be disturbed again and that, but the government of the day had insisted. These and many more we'll be looking at today. All right, in today's discourse, I have a wonderful analyst in the house. From my far left, I have Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi. Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi is a historian and a political affairs analyst. Comrade, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, my viewers.
After him, I have Barrister Empero Bunna. Barrister Empero Bunna is a practicing lawyer, a human rights activist, and a human rights lawyer. Barrister, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good day, Abians and everybody watching us.
Last week, we talked about the palliative and made suggestions that the palliative should be used for road constructions and so on, because the amount mentioned is so paltry. But today, as we speak, the Abia state government has acknowledged the receipt of 2 billion naira instead of the 5 billion naira, and also 3,050 kg bags of rice for Abia state. And then the person directly in charge, a reverend father who the governor has appointed to ensure that this thing gets round, says that it's going to go round through the words. And now the one big question people are asking, who are directly involved in the committee of this sharing? And how is this a political party affair, or is it for all Abians? If it is for all Abians, who are supposed to be involved? Let me start with you, Barrister.
Well, when they say that they gave us these things, when they said it's 3,050 kilogram bags of rice, to me it's still too small. You know, I wonder how many families it will go to. Then I also, as we raised the last time we were here, I also wonder how they will determine who will get it and how they will get it. Now, if they said it is through the wards, how do they get the biometrics of families in the ward? Are they going to do it through Labour Party? Are they going to do it through Labour Party ward? Or are they going to do it through ABGA or YPP or APC? Because now we need to have, you cannot talk about sharing something without a register. It's not possible to share anything without a register. There must be a register of people you are giving it to. At what point did we reach there where we start sharing something? So to me, this is more like putting the cart before the horse. You understand me? Because now we don't have any biometrics, we don't have any register of anybody we're going to give these things to. So it's a problem. But nevertheless, since they give it to a reverend father, we believe that he will have his own sharing formula. But to me, I think that the best thing to do is the government should work on how to do it. Either doing it through town unions in Abia, or do it through churches or anything. But you see that no matter how you do it, if you don't have a register of who are going to be the beneficiary, there's a possibility that some people will not get anything, or that some will get double. Some will be in village meeting. They will also be in town union. They will also be in churches. So they will get it 3 times. You understand what I'm saying? So no matter what, to me, I feel that this is something that is programmed to fail. Let me tell you why I say it's going to fail. It's going to fail because there is no register of how it shall be shared. There must be a register of how it should be shared. And 2, if you are sharing this thing, who are you giving it to? Palliative should not be given to everybody. Palliative should not be given to everybody. You can't see a big man who is already driving a Lexus 350 or a rich man driving Santa Fe. You start giving him that thing. You're supposed to give it to those who are poor. So now the question is, how do you now determine those who are poor? Somebody can look poor, but the person has a lot of money. Some of these big men in our area, they may have millions of naira in their bank account, yet they are moving around as poor people. Somebody can also be very, very poor, but you think that he's rich.
That's true.
Yeah, somebody can also have houses, but his account number. So if you say you are determining those who are poor based on their bank account, will you be revealing how much money people have in their banks? What about those who are using companies to put money in companies? Will you know how much money they have? If you say you're not going to use bank accounts to determine those who are poor, and you're going to use where people live, it becomes a problem because some people have money and they don't show it. Some people also have properties, but yet they're poor. So you see that, to me, this is just organized confusion. So in the end, this thing will end up in being given to people who are friends of those in power.
We are directly involved. Yeah.
Those who are sharing this thing. It is going to end up being given to relations of those who are going to participate in sharing. There is no way it can go to those who are poor, because one, you don't even have the biometrics, you don't have the register of those who are poor. Okay. So to me, it will surely fail.
All right, comrade.
Yes.
Looking at this, and then I think if the governor had wanted to get it right, is having stakeholders that will cut across the political parties in Abia State. If we must go through political parties, not just persons either of Labour Party invited, to take care of this. So what's your take on that?
It doesn't even need to talk about political party in a thing like this, because hunger does not have party. Hunger, which the federal government has created by removing subsidy.
How many people belong to parties in Nigeria? There are many parties. People belong to
Hunger doesn't have political party. Hunger is just a universal thing. And in a situation like this, where the World Bank is saying 64 million Nigerians are food insecure, so it means actually locating these persons who are food insecure is the task. But and I think council did say something I love so much. For now, there are no records of who the actual poor are. You understand? And I do not understand when Nigeria say the poor, what indices? You understand what I'm saying now? What indices? What are the factors that make someone poor by Nigerian standard? He has tried to talk about things, but in a different dimension or two. So what are the things you look at to say this person is poor? Is it someone who is a wage worker earning up to 100,000, 30,000, 20,000? So to me, I don't understand their own parameters. But that I actually say it again. I think, like Emperor said, it is going to be a total failure to a very large extent. Whether you want to bring Barack Obama, even if you bring Oxfam to distribute it, it will still be a failure. Why? Because you don't have a reliable working database. The poor. You understand? And when last did we even have a population census? Over 10 years now. And I'll come to something. You see, there have been previous programs structured this way, and they all failed. I will remind you of the one under Jordan, known as Fadama, for farmers. I know someone, somewhere, but I will not mention who, when they received 500,000 naira to give to farmers, he was telling farmers to pay 300,000 naira into his account and go with the rest. That's federal government money. The same thing happened under Shopee, subsidy reinvestment program. When the President removed subsidy, he said it's an investment. He was investing it in other critical areas. People received money as handouts. You understand? Because of their political affiliation, or because of the fact that they are related to someone who is close to power, and it's the standard here. Now, Buhari said he was going to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. For that very reason, he created his GEEP program, G. That's Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, where he talked about farmer money, trader money. How many actual farmers received those fertilizer bags, received those grains from the strategic reserve? You understand? So to me, all these programs, we need to emphasize the need to have population and to decentralize population. Let it not be a federal affair again, because it's only the federal government that conducts census population. You understand? So if Abia State has a reliable data, now I will not be interested in how they want to go about because they will be just going to the fore based on the record. But I have to say something. You see, Emperor said it already. Palliative is not something you do because you remove subsidy. In America, the local government, that's the counties, they have a way. In fact, they have one they call food stamp. All those vulnerable ones, they are on record already. If you come for the day, at least you have access to one.
I've seen it. I saw it when I was in Maryland. So, they give this one like an ATM card.
Yes.
ATM card when I was in Baltimore. They use it and go to the supermarket and you buy. As you are buying, they doctrine the thing. Government is paying.
He's paying.
They have already put in maybe say $500 in that your ATM card.
That is
because the food stamp.
Government. That is what we should be talking about. The wealth God gave us. That is where we should be. Palliative is something you do to help the poor. It's not something you do because you are moving subsidy. But what I'm going to say, if the government had been wiser, what they ought to be doing is this money they are removing, use it to empower local industries. People like NOC should be giving money to say, okay, since we are looking at what mentioning the effect on transportation sector, build cars, and you will see that more people will get employed.
Or KK or anything.
Or even KK, or yes, or even I know of local people doing these things now. Empower them, they will employ people. You see, and money will now do what? Circulate. It's unfortunate.
All right, let us also look at this. The special advisor to the governor on policies and intervention and the state chairman for the sharing of federal government palliative, Reverend Father Christian Anokuru, hinted that the quantity is beyond the expectation. According to him, distribution is expected. The distribution is expected to go each word about, that's 14 bags of rice per each word out of the 100. Yes, per word out of the 184. But I said nothing about the 2 billion, the sharing formula for the 2 billion. Just talking about words. Let us also assume, Barrister, that it is also going to go by words. Just like the question you raised, who are going to get it?
It becomes a problem now. Now, one word. Let me explain to you something. In Abia Central, you know, I ran election in Abia Central.
Yeah.
And I know that in Abia South has 3 wards. 3 wards, Ward 9, Ward 10, and Ward 11.
Yes, I'm Ward 11.
Just send me, sorry, I'm Ward 8, Ward 9, Ward 10, 11. These are the 4 wards or so. Now let me explain to you something. Ward 8, Ward 11 is the whole of Ngwaru side. That place is very big. From Ngwaru, from east to St. Anthony, you start going down to St. Anthony Mortuary. Yeah. You start going down. That place is Ward 11. Now Ward 8 is almost the whole of inside town. I mean Ward 9. Though the 8 is packed, all those places. My brother, 13 bags of rice cannot go anywhere when it comes to one ward. Do you know how big one ward is? One ward, the whole of where we are now, we are inside Central Town here. This is Ward 9. Ward 9 from here, from George's here. You reach Mugwa Road Market, it's Ward 9. I'm not talking about crossing east. Yeah. I'm talking about from here to Mugwa Road Market.
Talking about buildings.
It's one ward, Ward 9. Now take it from east to Mosque. All of these places are one ward. One ward. So how would you now start sharing 13 bags of rice? If I share 13 bags of rice to people in one street, you're talking about George's, Cabello Road, Eyi Road, Market Road, Creeper. You see that it's gonna work. So now the other thing is, you say you want to share it, as you said before, the issue of what? Is it labor ward? That's what I keep asking. Because if you are not saying you want to share it, how would you even do it? Honestly, it's something I don't understand. It's something that is, to me, more like organized confusion. That thing will not be enough. The sharing formula cannot work. The end of it is that if I am the one to do it, my friends, people like a prof, people like Nam, they will come, Emperor, give me 2 bars, Emperor, give me 3 bars, I will give you 2. Before the 10, you know it, the thing is finished. We're talking about the whole state having 3,000, say they were 300,000 or so 3,000
yeah,
bars.
3,000,
not even 300,000.
No, 3,000.
It's we are part of it. Or Arochukwu part of it. Or half a part of it.
I think it is poor. Even when the governor's advisor was saying they never expected it, I was thinking it would say it fell below the threshold they had actually expected.
Yes.
And that actually tells you how this will view the ones they are governing. It reminded me that song by Bob Marley, "Them belly full but we hungry." Them belly full but we hungry. You see, to me, if you talk about poverty, it is better we understand that over 80% of the population of this country. Because we are talking about a country where the highest denomination of your currency can no longer buy bread. That's the level of inflation.
That is terrible.
We have bread of 1,005, bread of 1,002.
The
highest denomination of our currency is is 1,000 naira. In America, I think Emperor has been there. The highest denomination, although they have special ones like $500, but you don't get to see them. $100 can get you grocery of 2 weeks.
Yes, now.
Grocery of 2 weeks. You stock on foodstuffs. But here in Nigeria, 1,000 naira cannot even transport you for a day.
Within the town.
Just within the town. So
my wife told me that they are going to Ariara today. I told her to use a car. She told me that she doesn't want to use a car, that she wants to go with her taxis. I said, why? She said that she doesn't want to be in go slow. And I said, okay, check how much it take you from our house to Ariara. I live in Santa. She told me that I should give her 3,000 naira. 3,000 naira to transport you and the two of them from Ime town ever to Ariara. 3,000. That was when I knew that our money has become useless.
That is the problem. So I think.
All right, but let us look at the formation of this committee. I think that is where really where the problem lies. Who are these people? These are people who are sharing this committee. Well, the named members of the committee to comprise representatives from the Nigerian Labour Congress, pensioners, political appointees, and selected members. Political appointees. That is appointed by the government.
As selected members.
As selected
members. Political appointees. What is the difference? You know something?
That is what.
Political appointees and selected members. It's the government that will select who they want.
So, but what I want us to look at the formation of this committee.
Yes,
this is Abia money.
Yes, I think if it is only on one basis that I would actually understand, or let me say, pardon members of the cabinet being there, if it is for supervision, to make sure that the thing does not go to the wrong hands. But I think when Governor Okeze initiated a similar policy, or when he actually handled the palliative regime, he involved the churches, and like Emperor said, he involved the town members, he involved some of these outlets, and now ask them, you know your poor, go and give to them. That is to tell you that Abia State, as a sub-national entity, does not have any record of the poor, because population census is not conducted by the states, but by the federal government. And that is why I say we must have the conversation where the states are allowed. You see, it is only in Nigeria you have a federation or a federal system where the states cannot create local government or sub-units. So I think if we have been able to come to a place where we agree that yes, we have the government and we know what we are taking to them every month or every week, we can be able to implement this program. I don't understand what, even if you go to 300,000 bags of rice, my brother, 300,000 bags of rice, do you know how many persons are in Abia? Abia is more than that. Is I'm just being conservative. I'm no longer relying on the 2006 figures. Abia is more than 3 million to 4 million persons. I'm being conservative. Abia is more than 4. Even houses in Abia are more than 2 million. You understand? There are places you can't even access as we are talking. Even if you have to carry out demographic exercise or you can't access. There are houses that are not numbered. There are houses that are against the line of the state. So how are you going to sit there to not begin to share? But then I think one thing is about talking about where we're going to share, and that thing is sharing and making sure that the house do not actually receive more. Because we've seen it happen before, that if you come to the house of Onyezi or a Christian, you will see shopping packages. When the actual poor are starving, you come to the house of a commissioner, even some of these politicians, they were using it to, I'm sorry to say it, but they were using it to give to their girlfriends and their boyfriends. Empower, it was hijacked. Shopping, it was hijacked. Fadama, it was hijacked. Conditional cash transfer under Buhari, it was people along the supply chain. You understand? Due to their political exposure, we now take advantage of it to give to their people, to give to their brothers, to give to their lovers and paramos. Why the actual process? So to me, we ought to be doing other things, not this one.
Barrister, I really want you to look at the formation of these members of this committee. So that, because if it is one-sided, just like you said, it's going to create more confusion. And I won't be there. And then my friend is there. I want him to take one back, and just like you rightly said before. So let us also look at the formation. How is this formation supposed to be?
You say that it's representative of labor unions.
Labor unions, the pensioners, the one Elder Mark, who is the chairman of the pensioners, and then the special assistant the governor is the Reverend Father is the chairperson of this. Then political appointees.
That group does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. What I think the Abia State government should just do is simple. You want to do something, get a record of those that you can help. There is nothing wrong. You see, we have to start thinking outside the box. In Nigeria, we only think that Recieves belongs to the federal government. No. Yeah. The state government can decide to organize a way of counting, to know those who are in the states. You don't call it census. Just what I'm saying. If I'm the governor, let me tell you, if I'm the governor of Abia State, what I will do is that I will initiate a program, say this 1 week. I will set up a group. Let us get people in the names of everybody in the state, what they do, have a biometrics of those in our state. It is not, the law does not say that you must do it at a census. You can call it any name. Then use this thing as a yardstick for the development. Since the federal government have refused to do census, you're talking about 10 years. Census is almost 20 years now. The last time I did census was
2006.
17 years. 17 years ago. So nobody's talking about census anymore. So if it is me, what I will do as a federal government, a state government, is that I will get a biometrics of those in my state. Know what they do, know where they live, know how they really spread. Then it will now be the working document upon which I will now start sharing infrastructure, political appointments, even in politics. I will know those people that will give me more votes. I will now know how to use the sharing something. The problem is that we don't think out of the box, honestly, because there's no way you can share this thing without having at least. Okay, let me say something, Prof. Somebody's give you something to go and share. What is the first thing that will come into your mind? Oh yeah, that's what they come Nagikeya. So when you don't even know how many people you're going to share it, is that not sending you to go and do something in the end? You understand what I'm saying? So yes, that's the truth, because there is no way you can do this sharing without having the distance. So we are not talking about labor union. How many people belong to labor unions? How many people belong to labor union? There are so many groups that don't belong to any labor union, or that don't belong to any, or even if you belong to labor union, what if the man who is there doesn't like you? Just what I'm saying. So to me, it's a problem. It's a problem. But if the state, honestly, I'm trying to look at a way of doing this thing that will not work. They will not make it to be a failure, and I can't seem to find any, except if the government decides to.
And I think they have SEMA, Abia State Emergency Management Agency. They at a level. What record do they have?
They don't have any record. That's the problem. That was what happened during the what do you call it, during the COVID-19 stuff. Yeah. A few people had everything. Yeah. While some people were dying of hunger. We're dying of hunger. You can't run like that. In the US, once you step into America and you are going to stay for long, you have to go and register. You register somewhere. They register you. They give you accommodation, give you a place to sleep, a place to eat. In fact, when I was in New York, there was this house opposite me. They had junkers. They were there. They were taking to one stick of cigarette in a day. $10 every day. Is it $10 or $100? $100. They give them $100 in every day. Give them a cigarette and give them a room where they sleep. They were always there. Now, even at the time, some of them didn't like the place. They had to start sleeping on the main road. The mayor of New York had to become angry. You must have seen the news. Started forcing them, removing them from the street. They refused to go inside. That was what happened in New York. I'm not even talking about New York. In Baltimore, when I went to visit my friend Harold Onyuku, we were in his house in Baltimore. There, once you are new in America and you're going to stay, you go and register. They will give you, as you say, food stamp. They give you an ATM card. That ATM card is programmed. Maybe they'll say $500 there, but you can't withdraw cash. How to do it is that you go to some designated supermarket, or go to a supermarket, you buy things. Any supermarket you go, you buy. You start in, they withdraw you more. They can't give you cash. It's illegal to take cash, but they will give you food. By that time, the government have those who are poor and those who are. That is how we can start running these things. We should start running a system whereby the rich pay more to keep the poor going, than for you to just leave it open in the end. When rights comes, you start sharing according to political party. All
right, before we go on break, the whole thing is pointing at the rice. What about the 2 billion naira? Out of the 5 billion, the governor said he got only 2 billion.
Yes.
So, and then the sharing we mentioned here is just about the rice. What about the 2 billion?
That's where the problem is now. I don't even know whether some persons may not even have a grain of rice, just a grain of rice. We got to share this rice. and then now 2 billion naira. If you look at it, you now ask yourself, how many persons are in Abia State? Let's say 4 million or 5 million. You divide it by 2 billion. You see, you don't even have up to 50,000 naira. It may not even be able to buy a bag of rice.
5,000 naira. It's all of you.
5,000 naira. It may not still be able to do what, to keep you for a day. So how much are they even going to be sharing? And that is why I said this is just Tinubu's arrangement to say, since you don't want the 8,000 naira palliative, I take this one. That's just what actually happened. But I think if the state government has programs going on, you understand? Because I remember vividly Governor Okezi was talking about rice mill, whether that one was actually a fully project or a phantom project. But if at all they had such a thing, that is where you would have invested this. You understand what I'm saying? Now you now look at ways to do what? To invest it where everybody can benefit from. Well, now I do not know about all those ones, whether the rice mills are still standing or not. And then again, you look at yourself, you also see that if you share this money at the time the consumption capacity is low, what will it take care of? Is it going to take care of transportation? Is it going to take care of food for how long? So I don't understand. Like Emperor said, it is just putting the cat before the horse.
All right, our wonderful viewers, we're going to go on a very short break, and when we come back, issues of the moment will continue. Don't go away.
Is ongoing at Living TV Film Academy, Aba, Abia State, for candidates wishing to study filmmaking and mass communication for skill certificate training and degree programs, including mandatory NYSC post-degree service. Courses offered are Department of Journalism and Media Studies, Broadcast Journalism, TV Presentation, Photo Journalism, Department of Film and Multimedia Studies, Cinematography, Acting, Video Editing, Film Production, Website Designing, Modeling and Makeup, Bead Making, Screenwriting, Theatre Arts, Department of Broadcasting, Script Writing, Journalism, Reporting, Software Programming, Mobile and Web App Development, Audio Production, Graphic Designing, Digital Animation, Special Effects, Social Media Management. Entry qualifications. Candidates must possess 5 credits in WASICAM GCE, NAPTEB or equivalents. We have the following technical infrastructure for students' skills acquisition: an arts theatre well equipped for modern digital television and radio studios open for hire to the public, an audio suite for music production, soundtracks, sound effects, jingles and voice-over, etc. A 50 feet by 40 feet chroma studio, largest in Africa for special effects, world-class rendering facilities for post-production rendering, animation and cartoon technology, assorted professional cameras, drones, etc. A film village with epic and village houses for theatre arts and epic films making. Our studies are skill-oriented with well-qualified academic and technical teachers. We also admit students on industrial training and internship from other institutions. Professional license will be issued to graduates to practice as professionals by Bollywood, a registered professional organization for filmmakers. Wow! What are you waiting for? Rush now and obtain our admission form with 2,000 naira only at our main campus, number 1 Judges Road, 5th floor, former UBA House by NEPA, Waterside Descent, Aba, Abia State, Nigeria, or visit our website, livingradio.com.ng, the Academy, www.livingtvfilmacademy.com, email livingtvfilmacademy@gmail.com, or call 0805 367 3900 or 0816 641 1400. Signed, Registrar.
Living Television Tele-Trade Fair. This is the way the Living Television is giving back to the society, subsidizing the advertising rate. You can advertise on Living Television Tele-Trade Fair. with a subsidized rate, it is no more business as usual, but this time the thing is cut down. You can come to Living Television for all forms of your adverts, and it is very, very cheap. This is the way we are giving back to the society. Living Tele Trade Fair. We are at number 1 Georges Street, opposite Ezema Police Station in Yimba City, here in Abia. Come to Living Tele Trade Fair, or we can as well visit your marketplace or your trading place to ensure that the world will know where you are and what you do.
Wonderful viewers, I'm glad you're still there watching your favorite television, the Living TV. Remember, it's still your favorite program, Issues of the Moment. We've looked at the palliative as received by this Abia government, and also their sharing formula is exactly what we looked at. Away from that, we are looking at the judicial panel of inquiry on the recovery of Abia property as it stands. All of us are aware of what has been going on there, even when the governor himself had a court order, restraining the state government from probing him. But we have a lawyer here who will also tell us whether other members of his cabinet were equally stopped by that. And then, so far so good, how has it gone?
Well, the little problem we have with that court process is that, first of all, when I looked at the court order says it's Federal High Court. Now, the next thing we saw was that they said that they are setting that they are setting aside the FCT High Court rules. That's the way they drafted it. Ordinarily, the FCT High Court rules said that ex parte orders should last for 14 days. They now said that they are suspending the rules. Now, why would you now use Federal High Court? Why would you now use State High Court, FCT High Court, to now suspend, to now be applicable in the Federal High Court? You see, when I saw that judgment, it was that rule, it was order. It was confusing to me. But nevertheless, another question I asked was, why would you go to Abuja to get an order to stop the state government in Abia State? Yeah. Now, somebody said that the reason is that the IGP was involved. They added IGP. They added IGP, and so what? The subject matter was in Abia State. So it is the Abia State government that would have handled it. Then, thirdly, why would the Federal High Court handle such a thing? Now, if you look at the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court, Section 251. Section 251 is the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court, which provides for everything on the Federal High Court. Now, none of them, a Federal High Court deals with administration and control of the federal government. Anything that does not cover the administration and control of the federal government, like anything like aviation, things like currency, things like all those things, you know what I mean? Yeah. Maritime and all those things. Maritime. So all those things, on what ground would you now go to the Federal High Court to now deal with recovery of state property? To me, that court does not have jurisdiction. Honestly, that federal high court does not have jurisdiction. But if it is FCT high court that have jurisdiction, it's because a problem too. So to me, I think that court order, the Alliance government should deal with that court order as one that doesn't have jurisdiction and deal with it. And I know they must have, because that court does not have jurisdiction to make that order. Then, two, the court orders are binding on parties before it. If you look at that case, it's Okosi Basu and some of his officials, not all of them. So if the court make an order, that order the court made only binds those who are named. Three, the question is, if the court make an order and somebody is challenging that order, can you comply? The law is that you may not be charged for contempt if you are challenging that order. I am aware of the fact that the Abia State government said that they're going to challenge that order. The Attorney General said they're going to challenge the order. I think it's the Attorney General, the Commissioner of Information, that I heard it from his mouth. So maybe that was why they're still. So to me, nothing stops that panel from investigating what they're investigating. But the question is, it is the implementation that will be a problem, execution of their panel report. Maybe that time they would have settled the issue of. But something happened yesterday. If you yesterday, the Abia State, that's Abia State government went to seal that school at Azikiwe Road. The school at Azikiwe Road. There's a building at Azikiwe Road. Yes, school there. Primary school. Azikiwe Primary School. I saw yesterday. They sealed it. They claim that building belongs to the state government. Now the commissioner former commissioner for education, Mboji, what's his name? Yes. Ikechi Mboji now came and issued a statement yesterday, saying that property does not belong to anybody. That property belongs to one professor, one Reverend Oboru or something, and that all these properties have been handed over to the people that own them. And let me tell you, one thing about us is that we like news that are sensational. There are some websites, like a Facebook, you post the news that people don't like. They say it's fake news, in the end it's true news. The truth is that we all want these properties to be recovered. But let me tell you something. I am a lawyer to some schools. I am a lawyer to secondary technical school. That school belongs to Reverend Obudurugu, secondary technical school. I'm their lawyer. I was actually the one that went to court and I recovered the land of the school. The school was taken over by the state government, and later the school was returned back to the people that owns it. And those that owned it now decided to sell those land. Now remember, we are talking about restoring the land that belonged to the individual, belonging to the school. Now the question is there still any land belonging to the government, to the schools? I'm telling the truth. Those land, all of them have been returned to the Clifford Road Primary School belongs to Assemblies of God. Mwa High School belongs to Anglican Church. Wikos belongs to, here's what I'm saying. So now, what happens to if you give Anglican Church Mwa High School and they decide to sell some part of the land? Will you not say that this is government property? I hope you understand where I'm going. I do. The question is that we all want this property to be recovered. But what about the fact that some of this property no longer belong to the government? I am quite sure, because I am a lawyer to some of these schools, I am quite sure that some of these schools, that these properties no longer belong to the government.
Like that of Wilcox.
In Wilcox now.
It has been sold.
It has been sold. Now the question is, this Wilcox that have been sold, is this still a property of the Abia State government? The answer is clear. The question is that the issue that Wilcox have been handed over to the owners, and the owners decide to sell it. So you may discover that when it comes to the government of Lagos may be working on a very faulty premise that all these properties that are recovering still belong to the state government. Okay, let me tell you something that happened. I am a lawyer to the Road Park. Some people encroached into that park and started building shops there. The people that stayed there came to me that I should write a petition to Alliance government. I wrote asking the government to stop the construction of the shops at there. Do you know that they don't even have any record of any land, anybody that owns any land? Those people are not even there. As I'm talking to you now, they are not even aware of who owns the Road Park. They're not even aware of who owns all these schools. They need to go back to the government, the former government, to get record. Because now, the only way you can do it is by plot and block, going to land registry. And to get those is not easy. It is like looking for a needle in a haystack. You know what I'm saying? It is not easy to get those records. Now, some lands which are marked as public land, are not registered in the name of anybody. That's the problem. So, and not only that, you get document of plot of land. It does not mention the number. Like when you say 125 Market Road, you go to land registry to look for 125 Market Road. You will not see it. What you will see there is block 7, plot 8. I don't know if you tell me. You will see block. I don't know what I'm making sense. Yes. What you see in the land registry is plot 7, block 8. Now the question is, where is plot 7, plot 8? You don't know. You don't know. It's only the person that owns the land will bring a document, and now you now say, okay, plot 7, block 8 is number 172 above the road. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there is no record. So when you are accusing somebody of taking government land, it appears that that committee that was set up, they didn't really understand. The government that set it up, we were just obeying public opinion, because most of those schools that have been sold actually belongs to those who sold them. And be honest to you, I'm a lawyer there, and I'm speaking what I know.
Okay, it's good to know this. Comrade, this committee, they've also appealed to the public to bring in letters and also inform them, because they cannot work in isolation. They need information from the public to get some of these properties. It's not just about landed properties or schools.
Yeah.
They're also talking about
those
vehicles.
Other properties, yes.
Yeah, so
I think, let me even commend the Emperor for the way he just explained it. Yes. I'm aware that following the Civil War in 1970, government sequestered some lands. Government actually appropriated some lands. And then schools too. You understand? The claim or the assertion of them was that the East Central States, as it were, then believed that having come out of war, that no single individual can now operate schools. But then Governor Theodore Oji, you understand, gave back some of those schools. I think St. Joseph's was actually giving back to Catholic, and then
many of those schools, yes.
Almost all of them. Almost of these schools were all acquired by the churches.
Who owned them. But then, during the government of former Governor Okezi, yes, we now saw that the report, even the news, it was there in the media, the grapevine, all the reporters carried it, that some persons were now converting public properties. And then it included things like air conditioning. You understand? Chairs in the
government offices.
And it being that the government cannot work in isolation, this panel now, what is required is the inventory. Because before you assume office as a government chairman, there are inventories of what are there in your office.
Yes.
You understand? You now sign that, yes, I mean,
these are what I met.
Yes. Now, I think they require the inventory, and also need collaboration from the public to furnish them with vital information. And we should also include the information coming from the real owners of the property in question, so that we are not misguided at the end of the day. But that actually saying anything, and I think I love the way Emperor talked about this court issue, this court order. I didn't say that it's only in Nigeria that a politician, someone who has served out his tenure as a governor or minister, will go to court to seek for an order to stop the fire. Peter Odele of River State got the one they called perpetual injunction. Although it was not that, yes,
the wife is a judge.
You can no longer try him for all his life.
Okay, let me just tell you this.
And
let me just tell you this. As I told you, I'm the lawyer to secondary technical school. Now, I am aware that most of the land in secondary technical have been sold to individuals. In fact, my client even bought one. Now, my client did not buy it from the government. God knows I will not be on television and I'll be telling lies. My client bought it from the Obodoruku family, who had been, the property had been returned to them. I am sure, because I was a part of the whole transaction. Now, they are the ones that own the school. We even went to court, and when we wanted to go, some Ngwa people, is a young them, I think young common also. Some people, some Mrs., we sued them, and we had this issue in the end. The courts, they left the land for us. We now brought evidence that government have returned it to us. So what I'm telling you is that most of these things, most of the land that was sold, will actually belong to those that sold them. Then two, on the issue of inventory, I want you to know something. You know, I look at things from the practical point of view. I'm not an idealistic person. I look at things from the practical point of view. Now, we know that Ochiso Carlo was PDP governor, although he came later. Then we now move down for Alex Oti, PDP. From TOG, PDP. Now let me tell you something. If you are expecting those things you are seeing, inventory, you wouldn't see them. Let me tell you why. It was more like a household man, no man. Hey, now you shake me. I'm gonna go out with the next person. When I will see you, the person will take over. I'm just telling you the truth. Because
that is true.
Because TRG was the one who helped Recieves to become governor. We all know it.
Yes.
Okay, so, just what I'm saying. So it's the same people. So it is different from when Alex Oti came in. Alex Oti was coming from a very different platform. So there's a need for inventory. Now the question is now, that inventory you're talking about, let me tell you that. You think that the inventory that was given to Okesi Bazoum 8 years ago that will still be there? You think it will still be there? Okay, look at another person that brought up that is this issue was my friend, Ojebuche Manka. Ojebuche Manka, when Tenteneko raised the issue of their stealing it, Ojebuche said that there's an inventory. Now let me ask you a question. If the day that Ojebuchi is handing over to the new chief press secretary, and then Ojebuchi make an inventory, he writes what he wants.
Yes.
And he brought a former inventory written by Engineer Polos, who was the former chief press secretary. And they did what they did. Two of them did man no man and did what you know. How will you know the one that is belonging to the government? The person can say, my brother, when I came here, this place was an empty place. Ojebuchi claimed that he was the one that bought a generator. Like you saw what he wrote. He was the one that bought generator. So Ojebuchi can come and claim. You see all this? I bought them, and the what do you call him? You see all this road? I mean, all this door, all this chair. When I came here, it was an empty place. So what I'm saying is that the problem we had is that government was a man-no-man government, and right now to tell I'm looking for inventory is a problem. So let me be honest to you again. This Alex Oti committee that is doing fact finding, it's not going to be easy for it. One. The group from Alex, what do you call him, from Okesi Bazoum, they will not attend that. They will not honor. Most of them will not honor the invitation of that committee. They will tell you that the court has already stopped whatever they are doing. They will not honor it. And if they don't honor it, with what I know, I'm a lawyer in Abia, and to the glory of God, I'm a little prominent. I handle many cases that you don't even know. For what I know, the record there is so scanty. It's so scanty. When you are asking government for something, government will be asking you to bring evidence, to prove. Government is there. I don't know how to explain it. The information they have there is so scanty.
That's bureaucracy.
Yes. No. You don't understand what I'm saying. Bureaucracy is that they have information. I'm telling you that right now, the way the government of Abia State have been run since 1990 today, we don't have much record of all these things. I don't know whether I'm making sense.
Yeah. Yes.
So you go to Alex Oti's government to say you are looking for something. They will be asking you for information. Not that they are not competent, they are competent. But the truth is that the former government did not leave records for them to work with.
Council, just like what happened in that teaching hospital now, it's supposed to be a government area. During Ojo Sokalo, most of those places were sold. And that was why the government had the effrontery to knock down this man's house.
This guy. Yeah, from Aduru.
Sisi
Duro. So.
Yes, Sisi. That was why the former and so many other persons that bought. So can they trace it? Can this government trace that? Maybe that.
Okay, let me tell you something else. There's this land at the back of glass industry. That land was acquired by the Abia State government a long time ago. Later they took me that I should go and buy a property there. I went to the government. People in government attested. Even not Sokalo said it. That land belongs to the government, but that there is no record. I'm telling you the truth. If you know the land I'm talking about, glass industry, that's a big part of land at the back of it. They said that place belonged to the government. If you remember when there was development, that place refused to develop. But later they started selling it.
They've sold all of them.
Because the problem you have in Nigeria is record. Who has a record? Somebody will just keep a record and tear it. That's what happened in Abuja. Do you know in Abuja when I was in Abuja, do you know that in Abuja, when I was in Abuja, I met so many people who were arrested. The party's law there small, who were arrested for selling Abuja land. They will just come and go to the computer and print CFO and start selling land. Up till now, today, there are many land in Abuja that were sold by individuals who just forged documents.
We know nothing about the land.
Where is the record? Where is the record? Do you know that some people in the ages that work in land industry manufacture this document and invested land to themselves? I'm telling you what I know. So you see that is a problem.
All right, before we go, a quick look at this. Recently, we are aware that our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, sent a message across to Niger Republic through one-time President Abdul Salam. And then he came back, and then the Niger government has set up their government and said they are going to be there for 3 years. And ECOWAS has said no to that and had given an ultimatum. And then the drum of war is looming around that. Let me start with you on that, just briefly on that.
Okay, I think what is happening, we must understand that there is external influence. Recently, just this morning, the president released a speech. He had a brief from the ulamas, I think the clerics, who had been engaging the junta. And then he told them that now, he said, take away ECOWAS, or take ECOWAS aside. There are other people and other sides to this conflict outside of our control. And I am the one holding them back. Yes, and I am the one holding. So who are these interests? It may just be USA or France. So it tells you that ECOWAS, which was actually created as an economic community in the 1970s to foster economic integration.
And not political community.
Yes. To foster economic integration and relationship amongst member states within the bloc had actually failed the main mandate, and I'm sorry. Though we understand that ECOWAS is the most organized supranational arrangement in Africa, because you can't compare South African Development Commission, that is the SADC, or ECAS, the one they call Economic Community of Central Africa States. You can't compare them. But then if you look at ECOWAS, that ECOWAS has not been able to liberate member states from the apron strings of former colonial masters. More than 7 member states in ECOWAS are still having their budget, their foreign reserves tied to the Bank of France. So the question should be, what makes military coup appealing and then democracy less attractive? That's what ECOWAS should be talking about. And I do not think that war will actually address the problem. Though war may actually be the final result when all diplomatic channels and avenues have been exhausted. But ECOWAS should also be careful. Now the EU is talking about delisting Niger, relying on its charter that says good governance, democracy, election. Now, what is that same union doing about elections? As we speak here, ECOWAS has not released its report of 2023 elections of that year. You understand? And we also want to play that. Now, see the people who are going to war. Lassana Ouattara of Côte d'Ivoire, who has stated against the constitutional.
What about Cameroon man, who has been there since we are born?
He's not even in ECOWAS, they are in Central Africa. Now,
okay, Cameroon is not in ECOWAS.
Yes. Now look at them. See those who are even now the defenders of democracy, including Tinubu. They are not defenders of democracy. So to me, I think ECOWAS should be looking inward. I say, yes, we understand that at a point in the 1980s, the dynamics of ECOWAS changed. They now started dealing with intervention where you had ECOMOG in Liberia and Sierra Leone.
All right.
Yes,
because of our time, Council, you know, Tinubu had also written to the National Assembly, and then concerning the war, and then which I'm sure they declined, it's not working. And so many other quarters, both religious quarters and so on, are written to say that war is not the appropriate thing. But since these guys have insisted on 3 years, to enable them to put their constitution
from 7 days now to 3 years.
Well, the truth about it is that one, Tinubu has no power to drag Nigeria into war. If he does that, it's an impeachable offense. Nigeria, the constitution of Nigeria is very clear
that the Senate will approve.
That the Senate of the country must approve before you risk the life of a single Nigerian soldier. So if Tinubu takes Nigeria into war, it becomes impeachable. As I'm talking to you now, that is the law. 2, will you be going to war in Niger Republic when the coup there is popular in Niger Republic? Now, assuming ECOWAS goes with the UN and US and everywhere, they go to war and they destroy the junta and they put their how long will you continue staying there? You still, like what happened in Afghanistan one day. You know what it would mean? What it would mean is that the people will be fighting against the government because that government is unpopular. The people, right now, the junta is popular. I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
they're celebrating them. So if you now go there and remove the junta and bring in people, the people would be fighting the ECOWAS because the ECOWAS have to be there to maintain that government for a very long time. So it is not easy to start something you know you cannot fulfill. Now, to me, the best thing is dialogue. It's not easy. And democracy, let me tell you the truth, democracy in Africa is a problem. Yeah. You have people in democratic power, they come in, they steal. The time comes when people start asking for military rule. Let's be honest to ourselves.
Yes.
The Democrats, the politicians are not helping issues.
They are not.
They're not helping issues. Look at Nigeria. When the military was in power, what was the value of the naira? Right now, the dollar is now almost 1,000 naira. People can no longer find food to eat. And you're telling them democracy. So the truth about it is that those who are having democratic power, they are the one enjoying the whole thing. Somebody will be there, look at the state government, they gave them the House of Assembly, they gave them, they say they want Prado. They want Prado. Somebody who have never bought a ticket in your life because you won election under Obi Wave, you now want Prado. You now want Prado. Somebody who cannot even afford ticket in one Prado. It's funny. So what I'm just saying is that you look at everything holistically, it is a very funny situation. So to me, the Nigerian government should just forget about that war. We have our own war here. We have unknown government. We have Boko Haram. We have terrorists. We have our own war here. Let us deal with our war and forget about them. These are people. Every country gets the government they deserve. They like what they are doing. Let them do it, to me, honestly. And moreover, ECOWAS is the economic community of West African states. It's not political. So let them sort themselves out. It appears that there are some bigger countries that have interest in this war. Nigeria should not be used as a pawn. We later want to deal with the economy.
All right, now, wonderful viewers, that's the much we're going to take today. I am glad you've remained there with us. And then you keep watching other programs of the Living Television. And then from my far left, Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi, what is your parting word for today?
My parting word is that Governor Adesoji must make sure that the poorest of the poor actually get this. Because if you say the poor, I think technically, you see that all of us are poor somehow. So let's look at how can they need the poorest of the poor. Let them be the ones to enjoy this palliative. Then to the Nigerian government, sounding the drums of war will not even do anybody any good. Arms build up, arms because 2 days ago the chief of air staff said they had procured 18 war jets from USA and Turkey, and that's built up. It's not going to do anybody any good. Mali and Burkina Faso actually gifted Niger, yes, their own Tucano jets. It will not serve anybody any good. But we are looking to what pathways, sustainable pathways to dialogue and negotiated settlement. Thank you.
All right, Barrister Emperor Obonna, your parting word. Yeah, my parting word to the government of Abia State is that one, I would like the government to have more planning than execution. Plan first. You don't just go into things without planning. If you go into things without planning, when you plan to fail, when you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So this issue of palliatives and everything, let us follow the right way. Nothing stops us from having a biometrics of those who live here, everything, and then use it and develop it. It will be like a development plan. It will be like something you use. Then to the federal government, I will urge the president to forget about that war. We don't need war in Nigeria. It will deplete our economy. It will be a problem for us, and the Senate has said no. Obey the Senate. Nigeria cannot enter into a war without the approval of the Senate. So, and any argument, anything that any contract signed by the Nigerian government by virtue of Section 12 of the Constitution, that contract must be endorsed by the National Assembly before it becomes enforceable. So, on my own, we should use wisdom. People are hungry. Let us find a way to solve the problem of Nigeria. Let us not be like a Buhari that was busy building things in the Nigeria Republic while his country has its own problem. Yes. All right, wonderful viewers, that's the much we're going to take for today. From my left again, Comrade Nnamdi Lekwachi, I said thank you for being part of today's program. It's my pleasure to be here. Barrister Emperor Obonna, we're very grateful having you here today.
Thank you.
And now, wonderful viewers, that's the much we're going to take today. I remain your command, Chinedum Adiele. Keep a date with us. Remember, Tuesday is going to be another hot, reaching issues of the moment. Bye for now.